You're in that tense moment when your child has pushed a limit. You've stated a consequence, and now something has to be done. Do you backpedal and let your child off the hook? Do you stand firm and follow through on that consequence? Or do you just move on as though it never happened? The path you choose can transform your parent-child dynamic. Today, I'm going to share with you an extremely common parenting mistake when it comes to using consequences and how you can be sure to avoid it. Now, you've probably heard before about how important it is to set and uphold reasonable boundaries for your child. It really is a key element of effective parenting and helps your child to become a thriving adult one day. However, a lot of parents feel pretty yucky using consequences with their kids, and that's exactly what upholding boundaries is. It's using consequences. So, for example, if you do this, then that will happen. The good news is that when you learn the right way to use consequences, you know that you're helping your child learn an important lesson in a supportive way. And it truly does feel like amazing parenting. Before I even had my first child, I had an up-close view of why following through on consequences is so important. I was teaching psychology classes at a local college, and I was using the tennis court there one evening to play with my husband. There was a mesh screen between the courts, so I could hear but not see the people playing next to me. But clearly it was a mother and a son, and the son was probably somewhere in the 11 to 12 range, and the son was cursing like a sailor. And the mother says, "If you keep talking like that, we're going to have to go home." So what do you think happened? They kept playing tennis, and minutes later, he loudly says another bad word. And the mother says, "Hey, you need to stop saying that if you want to keep playing." This went on. And imagine my surprise when ultimately we left before them. What do you think that boy learned from the experience? Do you think he thought, "My mom's reasonable and understanding," and realized how stressful that match was for me, and so she decided to overlook my cursing? No. Or do you think that he thought, "Gosh, my mom is really getting old and forgetful"? No. He learned that his mom makes empty threats. She states consequences and doesn't follow through on them. Therefore, her words are meaningless. So do you think that that was an isolated incident? Absolutely not. You can bet that that mom repeatedly made empty threats. And you can bet that that felt pretty crummy to her. Think about a time when you asked your child to do something and they didn't do it. How did that make you feel? And then think if you made a threat of, "Okay, well, if you do that again, we're going to leave." And then they did it again. Feels pretty crummy. Kids are fast learners. They catch on really quickly to trends like that. And what they learn when you do not follow through on consequences is that they don't need to listen and respect your words. So whether it's clean your room before screen time, or be home by 9 p.m., or stop yelling curse words at the college campus while playing tennis, this core parenting principle applies at all ages. And the longer you make this mistake, the more ingrained it becomes in your child's mind that your threats are meaningless and they can get away with whatever you want. If following through is so important, why do parents often fail to do so? Often they simply just don't understand that it's actually teaching your child the opposite lesson. And usually we just don't want to upset our children, so we're tempted to not actually follow through on a stated consequence. But here's the thing. Consequences may cause short-term discomfort for your child and even for you, but that's actually really healthy for your child to experience. Periods of discomfort are part of the teaching process to motivate behavior change in the future. So, for example, getting them to stop cursing the next time you're at the tennis court. Discomfort also gives them an opportunity to build their emotional intelligence with distress tolerance skills, which will be important throughout their life. Now, does this mean that you should be a rigid parent, always enforcing strict consequences? Absolutely not. My last video recommended 2 steps to take when you find yourself in a parent-child standoff moment before you decide to state a consequence. So the first is to pause and take a calming breath, a deep inhale in and a deep exhale out, while you choose how to thoughtfully respond with intention. And the second step is to consider whether your request was A, reasonable, and B, worth the struggle. Now, if you've taken those 2 steps and decided a consequence is needed, then commit to following through so that you're not one day the mom making empty threats on the tennis court. Now, failing to follow through on consequences is just one of 6 common mistakes often made in using consequences. So be sure that you catch my next video to be sure you're not making any of the other 5. And keep up the good work on your amazing parenting journey.